be frank!
Welcome to Let's Be Frank, the weekly podcast that gives a quick take on U.S. stocks from the perspective of a value investor. I'm Brian Frank, a professional investor for over 20 years specializing in small and mid-cap value stocks. Every week I'll cover what is working, what isn't working, and talk about the value we're finding on the hunting trail. Find out more at frankfunds.com. Now let's get to it. Today is Saturday, June 27th, 2026, and the market had a tug-of-war this week. Alternating strength for momentum and high beta versus value and low volatility. Spectacular earnings for Micron, ticker MU, where the company guided higher earnings next quarter than any of the hyperscaler companies, caused a massive midweek rally in memory stocks. But then Friday, the pain returned for momentum, with our value portfolio showing significant strength while momentum stocks declined. Micron may have record free cash flow in the next few quarters, but the valuation is priced as if this will continue for years. Given all the pressure on Micron's customers, continued record high earnings and margins, in my opinion, are difficult to underwrite. To me, the market action looks like a topping process, where regime change is happening from momentum to value. I believe value will lead the next part of the cycle, but we shall see. That brings me to what worked in value. Last week, I talked about chocolate chips and consumer staples being superior values compared to computer chips and semiconductors. While choppy, we saw some significant outperformance in our positions in defensive names like Hershey's, ticker HSY, JM Smucker, ticker SJM, and Edgewell Personal Care, ticker EPC. Edgewell, the owner of Hawaiian Tropics Sunscreen and Cremo Skincare, had a takeover rumor circulating this week, alleging the company rejected a $30 per share offer. Clearly, investors are waking up to the value outside of the momentum stocks, and while the change in leadership will take time, I believe there is more upside in consumer staples. Let's move on to what didn't work. Although the stock had a little rally on Friday, our position in Celsius Holdings, ticker CELH, has been languishing for some time. This company makes the Celsius and Alani Nu energy drinks and is participating in the fastest growing area of the energy drink market, sugar-free and female-focused. However, Celsius has been struggling with competition from private labels like Costco, as well as its biggest competitors Monster, ticker MNST, and Red Bull. Many investors focus on scanner data, which gives up-to-the-minute sales data in retailers. With disruptive destocking, changing the offering to more Alani, and implementing new products like Fizz-Free, Celsius is posting some poor numbers at the moment. However, this is where the opportunity exists as a long-term investor. Looking out just a year or two, management is confident in their offering, and I believe they will get it right. At a valuation just a fraction of Monster's, I think we are also being compensated for the risk in Celsius. In fact, the CEO and COO recently purchased over $200,000 each of CELH stock. Sometimes you just have to suffer some short-term pain for the long-term gain. Where are the next gains? That brings us to on the hunting trail for value. This week I was all over the place, looking for fun at the Wendy's meme stock pitch, some oil and natural gas pipeline stocks, grocery stores, and alcohol companies. I think alcohol is the most interesting value at the moment, but I am treading very carefully because case volumes are negative. Remember, value can look great in the rearview mirror, and every valuation metric like the price-to-earnings ratio looks backwards. Your PE ratio will look a lot less cheap in the future if your business is under pressure and earnings are declining. Still, alcohol is very out of favor, and many companies are repurchasing stock. That's at least a good starting point. Wrapping up, there's a battle behind the scenes between momentum and value. My money is on value to be the next leader, but a topping process typically takes months. Next week is traditionally sleepy with the 4th of July holiday, but there could be fireworks in the market as money is moving around searching for new leaders. Thanks for listening.
Performance data quoted represents past performance and does not guarantee future results. The investment return and principal value of an investment will fluctuate so that an investor's shares, when redeemed, may be worth more or less than their original cost. Current performance may be lower or higher than the performance data quoted. You may obtain performance data current to the most recent month end by calling the Frank Value Fund at 1-888-217-5426 or visiting our website at frankfunds.com. Returns include reinvestment of any dividends and capital gain distributions. Non-FDIC insured may lose value. No bank guarantee. The fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses must be considered carefully before investing. The prospectus contains this and other important information about the fund, and it may be obtained by calling 1-888-217-5426. Please read it carefully before you invest or send money. This publication does not constitute an offer or solicitation of any transaction in any securities. Any recommendation contained herein may not be suitable for all investors. Information contained in this publication has been obtained from sources we believe to be reliable, but cannot be guaranteed. The information in this publication represents the opinions of the individual portfolio manager and is not intended to be a forecast of future events, a guarantee of future results, or investment advice. Also, please note that any discussion of the fund's holdings, the fund's performance, and the portfolio manager's views are as of the recording date and are subject to change without notice.